Welcome back to 34.0. Last week I looked back. Today I like to look forward, not just at where this podcast is going, but at where I hope this conversation can take us. So I'd like to begin with a question, a simple one. What do you feel is missing in your life right now? Maybe it's a romantic relationship. Maybe it's deeper friendships. Maybe it's purpose. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's intimacy. Maybe it's the relationship you have with yourself. Just notice what comes up. Don't judge it. Just notice it. Because every day I receive messages from people around the world. People who feel lonely. People who have lost themselves in relationships. People who are afraid of intimacy. People who long for intimacy. People who don't know how to meet someone. People who have met someone but don't know how to stay connected. Different stories, different lives, different cultures. Yet somehow the same longing. The longing to truly connect. When this podcast began, I thought intimacy was the destination. Today, I see it differently. I think intimacy is one of the deepest expressions of something much larger. Human connection. And that's why, over the next year, I like to broaden the conversation. Not away from intimacy, but deeper into everything that makes intimacy possible. Because intimacy doesn't exist in isolation. It lives inside everything else, inside how we regulate our nervous system, inside our childhood experiences, inside our ability to communicate, inside our capacity to trust, to forgive, to set boundaries, to be curious, to repair, to tell the truth, to receive love, to give love. The deeper I've explored intimacy, the more I realized I wasn't really studying sex. I was studying what it means to be human. And one insight keeps returning. One that has become impossible for me to ignore. We often search for one explanation, one model, one answer, one framework that explains everything. But people aren't that simple. Relationships aren't that simple. Life certainly isn't that simple. Instead, I've started thinking about something else. Maps. Imagine two people making love. What's actually happening? From one perspective, it's biology. Hormones, dopamine, oxytocin. From another, it's two nervous systems searching for safety. And from another, it's attachment. Old patterns quietly shaping how close we dare to come. And from another, it's communication. Can I express desire? Can I say no? Can I ask for what I need? From another, it's psychology. Shame, fear, vulnerability. And yet from another, it's identity. Who am I when I feel fully seen? And perhaps it might be spiritual. Two people becoming deeply present with one another. None of these maps are wrong. None of them are complete. Each one illuminates a different part of the same landscape. And maybe that's where we sometimes get stuck. We argue over which map is correct, when perhaps the better question is, which map helps me understand what's happening right now? The more conversations I've had over the past year, the more I realize something. I don't think we need another ideology. I think we need a richer shared language. A language for responsibility. A language for the nervous system, for desire, for shame. A language for grief. A language for masculinity and femininity. A language for repair, curiosity, and a language for sex and intimacy. Not so that we all think the same, but so that we can understand one another a little better. Because language changes what we can see. And what we can see, we can begin to work with. That's also why I like this podcast to evolve. Not by becoming narrower, but by becoming more integrated. We'd still talk about intimacy. We still talk about sex. We still talk about relationships. Because those conversations matter deeply. But we'll also explore everything that surrounds them. The maps that helps us navigate love, loss, conflict, parenting, friendship, purpose, community, meaning. Some maps will come from neuroscience, some from psychology, some from attachment theory, sexuality, philosophy, and some from spirituality. Some from people who have simply lived extraordinary lives. Not because any one map is the truth, but because every useful map helps us orient ourselves a little better. The map is never there to replace your experience. It's there to help you make sense of it. Sometimes you'll take a detour. Sometimes you'll discover a path no one else has noticed. Sometimes you'll realize the map you've been following no longer fits the terrain. And that's okay. That's part of being human. Maybe that's what growth really is. Not collecting more answers, but collecting better maps. So I'd like to leave you with the same question I asked at the beginning. What do you feel is missing in your life right now? And perhaps an even gentler one. What relationship is asking for your attention? Is it the relationship with yourself? With someone you love? With your body? With your family? With your work? With life itself? Don't rush the answer. Just stay curious. Because maybe that's where the journey begins. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Thank you for your openness, your questions. I have a feeling we're only just beginning. Not because we've found the answers, but because together we're slowly collecting better maps for what it means to be human. Until the next time, stay open, stay honest, and stay human.